What's good, everyone, and welcome to the Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets podcast, where we discuss everything that's going on with the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. So let's go ahead and get into the news for today. All right, so let me just say this. I have been a huge supporter for Aaron Rodgers, even when others were throwing him under the bus, right? So even with this whole contract thing, $150 million for 3 years, I was like, okay, well, he deserves to be paid, right? He's a two-time MVP, back-to-back MVP, so of course, go ahead and pay the guy, right? But bro, so I've always been a huge Aaron Rodgers supporter, even before he actually officially took over for Brett Favre. But I would have to say today I'm feeling a little different. And I recall in last year's playoff game, I called my boy and I pretty much told him, I said, Aaron Rodgers is done, man. He needs to go. I was just venting. I was upset. And then a couple of hours later, I was like, well, maybe he can do it again. So today I'm reacting to the interview with Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee Show with AJ Hawk. And bro, I will have to tell you today, I'm feeling slightly different about Aaron at this point. So last night I had the opportunity to sit down and watch the Pat McAfee Show in its entirety. The episode with Aaron Rodgers, where he sits down with AJ Hawk as well, with his weekly sit down and discuss different things going on with the Packers and going on around the league. And I would have to say that I am feeling some type of way about some of the comments coming from number 12. Some things that shouldn't have been said publicly, I don't believe. Some of those things you just keep in the house. So let me go ahead and say this before I get started on this video. I have been extremely supportive of Aaron Rodgers over the years, over his career, even with the whole situation with he and Brett Favre, with that whole situation. I was supportive of, the whole moving from one era to the next one. I was extremely supportive of that, and I thought great things were going to come, and they did. With Mike McCarthy, he brought in this new wave, and we did some great things with Mike McCarthy, and we won a Super Bowl from it, and potentially almost had another Super Bowl. But the whole thing that I'm trying to get to is that I've always been a supporter of Aaron Rodgers, even with his antics, with his whole blunt approach and just conveying how he feels publicly. I've always supported him. But on this one today, I feel some type of way because the way I grew up, the comments that were made on Pat McAfee Show will get you done in. I'm going to leave it at that. So, I feel some type of way seriously because he's playing a dangerous game right now. So there's an article on sportscasting.com with the title, Aaron Rodgers surprisingly throws key Packers teammates under the bus with self-absorbed statements that truly exemplifies his arrogance. And I would have to honestly say at this moment, after listening to that video, I would absolutely agree. So in the article, it says, Green Bay fans may be happy about Aaron Rodgers returning to work, but some of his teammates may want to hash things out with the superstar quarterback. As someone who constantly toes the line between confident and cocky, the three-time MVP has made more than a few self-absorbed comments over the years. However, by surprisingly throwing some of his key teammates under the bus, Rodgers not only exemplified his arrogance, but also put more pressure on himself to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to the Green Bay Packers. And I absolutely agree. As I was watching the interview, it brought me back to my days when I played, Little League football or even junior pro football when I was a lot younger. As a quarterback, though, you depend on people to protect you and go out there and catch the ball from you directly. And I feel that he's playing a dangerous game because at any moment, either one of these players can decide, I'm not doing my job today for real, and you can end up seriously hurt. But also the fact that he feels confident enough to put this information out publicly instead of keeping it in-house, which is alarming. Let me also say this, because I've heard so many people talk about this over and over and over again. I keep hearing people say, if Aaron Rodgers was seriously interested in getting his wide receivers on the same page with him, then he should have showed up at training camp, or he should have picked them up and driven to where they were when they were signed, and all these things like Peyton Manning is, or going to play ball with them in a public park like Tom Brady did, getting everybody on the same page. And I say this, he's free to do whatever he wants to. I believe that he's earned that time and opportunity to do as he please. Because I'm looking at, all these people judging him, talking about what he could have done differently and all that stuff. All of that stuff is in the past. There's nothing he can do with that now. Also, if we want to bring that up with Tom Brady, what has that done for him now? Because as I look at Tom Brady right now, it's not helping him score any more touchdowns. Tom Brady is still one of the lowest in the league with touchdowns. And he was outside throwing the ball with his wide receivers. So what has that done for Tom Brady, right? I believe we need to leave that part out of it, because we can't really judge Aaron Rodgers on not being there during training camp. And it's just crazy to hear all of these commentators talk about what he could have done and what he should have done. And at this point, that's spilt milk. So we can't go backwards. All we can do is focus on right now. But as I stated before, it's not helping these other guys. The only one that I see is actually benefiting is Patrick Mahomes. But he also has a group of skilled wide receivers who have already played the game, who can, actually play with him. So that's a whole different story. I digress. Now, this is what I really find interesting about all of this, because Aaron Rodgers, the guy a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about we have to watch our language and the kind of energy we're manifesting, right? I'm going to be steady with the guys, and I expect our leadership to do the same. So we don't know specifically who he was directing his comments to. Some people said that he was talking to Jair or some of the other teammates. Some was talking about he was actually talking to the leadership. So who knows? He also made this statement as well. I'm a firm believer in the power of words and manifestation, said Rodgers in response, and we got to check ourselves on that. Aaron Rodgers also states, I'm a firm believer in the power of words and manifestation, says Rodgers in a response. And we got to check ourselves on that, because talking about that, that's not winning football. There was conversation about that in the locker room, and I don't like it. Well, you know what, Aaron Rodgers? A lot of people don't like when you put business that should be in the locker room out on the street. But yet and still, you choose to do that. We don't like that. Keep it in-house. Have you not learned that since day one? You're dealing in dangerous situations right now because you are talking about the people who are potentially protecting you or going out there physically catching the ball from you. So how in the world do you expect them to respond to your statements? Whatever positive manifestation Rodgers was trying to inspire went out the window on Tuesday when the quarterback essentially said some of his teammates shouldn't be out there anymore following their loss over the weekend. So what he's pretty much saying is if you have not been playing up to expectations, then you should be placed on the bench. And a lot of fans would actually agree with me this morning. Aaron Rodgers has not been playing well. So does that mean that we need to place Jordan Love out there on the field and give him an opportunity? Because Aaron Rodgers, you have not been great this season thus far. You have not been that back-to-back MVP that we've seen over the years. You have not done your best either, but obviously you're still on the field. So I don't personally feel that it's all right for him to call them out when he's not doing his job effectively as well. He has not done well with reading some of the defenses, some of the things that he was doing. And part of that, I can say this, is that he's not comfortable with the O-line that we currently have in front of him. They're pretty much, playing musical chairs right now, trying to figure out who can play what role. I get that. So I'm not placing 100% of the offense's struggles on Aaron Rodgers. But he does own quite a bit of it because he is the leader of this squad on the offense. So when I say that he has not been playing well, I can say that because I've seen it over and over again. When you go back and watch the games, he's overthrowing the wide receivers. He's not reading some of the defenses well. He's not getting the ball to the open receivers. Every game this year, thus far, he has pretty much missed somebody who was open. Last week, Sammy Watkins was open at least twice. Twice. And instead of actually going deep down the field, which typically that's a no-brainer for Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron never looks for any other options. And like I said before, I understand he's uncomfortable in the pocket. The pocket is collapsing. I get all of that. But at some point, as the leader on this squad, you have to take ownership. And also look at the coaching. Part of it is on the coaching as well. I absolutely feel that Matt LaFleur has not done a great job with getting things, scheming things, putting things in motion for the offense to be great. It's so easy right now to read what we're about to do on the field. And I know Aaron Rodgers was saying last week, let's simplify it. But daggone, how simplified can it be? I mean, I can read what's about to happen, right? So if I can read what's about to happen, definitely the defense across the way is going to be able to call out what's about to go down. And for some reason, Matt LaFleur is just not coaching to what I believe his potential is. Or is he just riding on the coattails of Aaron Rodgers? So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm really at a loss for words because I just cannot believe that number 12 sat down on the Pat McAfee Show, decided to put family business out in the public to share with the world. And these are the same guys that's going to be sitting down with you, scheming with you to win the game against Buffalo this week. I just hope and pray that these guys have a mindset of saying, okay, our leader is trying to correct us instead of this guy right here, he's done, right? And you never know where people's heads are. So this Sunday night, we're going against Buffalo. So they have a pretty good defense. So I would be lying to you if I was going to say right now that I'm not concerned. I am absolutely concerned. Definitely after this interview with Pat McAfee. So I hope everything goes well. I hope that the guys can look at it in the mindset where I'm going to come out here and do the best of my ability with my job. I'm going to put all of my personal feelings to the wayside and go out there and do what I've been paid to do, which is to win games and get to the Lombardi Trophy and bring it back home to Lambeau Field. So I'm hoping that's where their mindsets can be. But I know for me personally, when I sat there and watched that interview, I just have to admit that I felt some type of way. And honestly, I know if I felt some type of way, then others could possibly feel that way as well. So I just wanted to vent and get that off my chest a little bit. But I absolutely agree with Aaron Rodgers. We have to be careful with the words that we put out there and manifest. We cannot allow them to manifest. And what he's doing right now, he's going to allow those words to manifest for the next couple of days. And that's all that people are going to be talking about for the next couple of days. They're going to be talking about this for the rest of the week. Mission accomplished. Will it help us win games? That's what we're really looking at this point. So, anyway, if you like the video, please hit the like button down below. If you have yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so. And once again, I'm one half of the group, Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets, where we talk about everything that goes down with the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, the Green Bay Packers. Please like and subscribe and follow our channel because we have things in store for you and you don't want to miss out on anything. Peace.